do it right now.
Welcome to the December 3rd meeting of the Elizabethtown City Council. Please join Cindy Walker as she brings the invocation.
Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day, and as always, we thank you for our blessings of this great community, the blessing of our employees, our first responders. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for this council and our mayor. We ask that you guide, lead, and direct us. We pray that the decisions that we make on behalf of the city will not only be pleasing to our community, but to you as well. We also pray for the Bush family as they deal with the loss of a great man. We pray for peace and comfort to them as well. Forgive us of our sins. These things we ask in your name. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Join us in the pledge. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First order of business is the approval of the minutes from the November the 19th meeting.
So moved.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. We have a presentation tonight from Michael Hayes, on behalf of the Heritage Council.
Can you hear me? Hello, good afternoon. Mike Hayes with the Elizabethtown Hardin County Heritage Council. Thank you all so much for having us here, and thanks for all of your support over the years. You're stuck with me rather than Charlie Skees, who is here awful lot with his dynamic personality, so I apologize for that. Really not much going on right now. We had to dine around downtown last month. Financially, it was not a success for the Heritage Council, but we weren't going into it with that goal in mind. Our goal in mind was to continue an event that has been growing on a yearly basis, an annual basis. About September, we were planning on actually canceling the event just because, as you all know, we're without an executive director right now. We weren't exactly sure what we were going to have volunteer staff-wise to be able to handle it all, so we ended up pulling it together and pulled it off. Attendance was about half of what it was last year. The weather, I think, was the main factor. It's about 34 degrees outside, so it was a little bit chilly. But overall, the people that we've talked to, it seemed to be a success. I want to give thanks to the merchants that stepped up. They really were able to help bring this home, in particular Martha Pride, Twyline Van Laar, Stacy Reynolds, Ashley Sheehan, Rebecca Carter, Serena Ariser, Dave Harms, Kelly from Flywheel, and Teresa from Urban Olive. And then this was the first year that we've ever had a sponsor for the trolley. We've always written a check for that, and Owen LaRue Financial Services stepped up and paid for that for us. So thank you to everybody for doing that. Executive director, we are in process of trying to hire someone. We took in about 12 to 14 legitimate resumes, conducted interviews for 2 individuals, both very qualified from 2 different standpoints. One more of a Chamber of Commerce background, the other from a PR, social media outreach standpoint. Have not made an offer on either one of them. To either one of them, we tabled the vote at our last board meeting with the hopes of interviewing another individual that was coming recommended to us. So we'll see if that happens over the next week, and then hopefully have a vote, make a decision at our December meeting. Really, that's all that's going on with us right now. I do want to read an email that I received from Laura Davis over the weekend. I don't know if you noticed the pots in downtown this weekend. So came from Laura. We get all of our the plantings for downtown plantings from Bluegrass. And it says, greetings, Hugo and I took advantage to recycle the recent ice storm damage by collecting white pine and magnolia for use for decoration in downtown seasonal pots that line the square. We wanted to say thank you to both the Heritage Council and to our community for your continued support. Have a blessed holiday season. So they got pine and magnolia in there free of charge for us as a thank you.
Saw that this morning.
They did a good job.
Do you have any questions of Michael?
Only comment I had, or question I had was, is that the preference is to hire a new director and to keep moving forward as you have in the past,
Yes,
but you are waiting and hopefully find the right person.
yes. Both of the individuals that we interviewed were definitely acceptable. I guess acceptable sounds like a bad word, and it wasn't, that we would have eagerly taken either one of them. So hopefully if this individual that we were going to talk to before doesn't pan out, then we'll make an offer to one of the two of them.
Thank you, Michael, and thank you. I know you're a volunteer, and I appreciate all the time you give very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sarah Vaughn. Miss Christmas.
Right. Good evening, everybody. Just wanted to remind you all about the parade and the big light up that we have. And I have to point out, I keep getting credit for all the lights downtown. And I got to tell you, I don't deserve that credit. Trinity, who is in our customer service department, he secretly loves Christmas. And he has put in a lot of thought and a lot of ideas and a lot of, hey, have you looked at these lights? Have you thought about this? Absolutely not, Trinity, I have not. But he has, and he's doing that homework. And he and Sean and a couple other staff people, and I think even Ed, were out there Sunday decorating the tree. So I do not deserve that credit at all, but I want everyone to know that Trinity and his team of folks have really put in a lot of work, a lot of hours to making downtown beautiful. So it's partially lit up, but we'll finish that up Saturday night. So the light up downtown is happening. We kick everything off, excuse me, Saturday morning, breakfast with St. at the theater, breakfast with Mrs. Claus at Wicked Eyed Woman. 10 to 3 is the workshop at the Brown Pusey House. And those are all privately held events, but they're all a part of the second Saturday and a part of the Light Up Downtown. 10 to 4 Christmas Marketplace at Pritchard Community Center, which is hosted by us. Noon to 2 is lunch with Santa at Roxy's. And then 5 o'clock is the parade. So once the parade wraps up, that will travel south on Dixie Highway. Port streets will shut down, just like they do for the Heartland Parade and just like they do every year for this parade. So we generally start shutting those streets down about 4:30-ish, and then we'll reopen almost all of them as soon as it concludes, just so business owners are aware of that. So the parade will end right at the square, and then historically we've kept all of the streets around the square shut down and all of the events on the square happening right on the courthouse steps. But as we all know, with the growing happening there, we have moved everything to the Walker Square area. If you've missed the tree, you're crazy because it is massive, but it is absolutely beautiful. Thank you, Marty, for that connection, and the Englands for that donation. You're going out with a bang, Mayor. We definitely can see that.
All because of the England family and that gorgeous tree. We really need to thank them. That's
Yes.
absolutely beautiful. And she's right. If you haven't been downtown, if you haven't seen the tree at the Walker Square, it's the best.
It is the best ever. So as soon as that concludes the parade, then we will start the light up festivities, which will be from 6 to 7. And of course, we'll have, the mayor will read "'Twas the Night Before Christmas." We'll have free hot chocolate inside of Karma Yoga, which is a partnership between us and Karma Yoga. Live Nativity by Southeast Christian Church. We'll have the carolers, the Hard County Playhouse carolers will be walking around. Free photos, well, take your own photos with Santa, good Santa opportunity, and of course the countdown to the lighting. That's not necessarily in order. And then the State Theater is doing Polar Express movies. So kiddos come out in your PJs at 1, 4, or 7 p.m. So the idea is that once you end the festivities at 7 o'clock, you just walk on down to the theater and enjoy the Polar Express movie. So a full day of fun events all around Christmas, all around downtown. And we're really excited about this year. And also, we have several dressed characters, princesses, a lot of Disney, a lot of really cool fun things, because as we know, a parade really is what we want our kiddos to see. And so we have a lot of really cool additions this year. I'm excited for everybody to see it. So fingers crossed for just a little bit of snow and 70. So. Anybody have any questions?
Yeah, how are you gonna get 70 degrees on a little bit of snow?
It's Kentucky and anything's possible here.
Thank you, Sarah. Thank you very much. Hey, Scott Turner, can you top that?
I don't know. On behalf of Habitat, we just, while everyone is still here, we just wanted to thank you for the partnership that we've had over the past several years. Kind of to, Charlie had mentioned at the retirement on Friday, there has to be a commitment in the future in the community. And we feel like that this partnership, obviously there's commitment for the future, but definitely for the future of our families that we partner with. This past summer, we just, a big part of the partnership has been revitalizing the Haycraft neighborhood. So we finished our 23rd and final home in the neighborhood this week, or this past July, sorry. And not all the families work out that we partner with. I tell everybody that, we do a lot of background information on them and work with them, financial classes, all that stuff, but not all of it at the time doesn't work out. We had, actually the very first home we built in the Haycraft neighborhood was one of those times that didn't work out. Recently, the family moved out of the area. So we put another family in there. It's great. She's doing great. They love the house. But as through that mortgage process, I went on ahead and had that home reappraised just to see what we've helped do in that neighborhood. And I know the business climate, real estate's changed over the last 4 or 5 years. But when you have 23 new homes in one neighborhood that are all well below Energy Star ratings, it has to make a difference. And that appraisal, from what we see right now, we've raised the PVA about 26% in that neighborhood. So it's been great. The other thing I want to do, again, just to thank you, I have a couple of things here. But we had just a token of our appreciation. This one just happens to be for the mayor. But it's got our Habitat logo, and it says, "In appreciation for your partnership with Hardin County Habitat for Humanity in the revitalization of the Haycraft neighborhood, July 10th, 2018. That's when we finished this revitalization. Also have some others here too.
Scott, that's awesome. And I gotta tell you, we appreciate you. Oh my gosh. Do we not appreciate And now that I've got all this, I'm sure I'll be out there with the hammer.
We're there.
Thank you. Gosh, yes.
Oh, that's great.
And it's not just here.
Maybe your camera's taking up a lot of space.
Thank you.
Y'all can walk over there and get your. Oh my gosh, thank you.
That's part of it.
He does all the work.
Thank you. Again, we appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. My goodness. Before we go on, Sarah, did you want to say anything about Christmas in the Park? Are you having big turnouts and you're still ice skating and?
Well, as of right now, all I've seen are the deposit slips. And trying to add in my head, probably about, I don't know, $5,000 or $6,000 already made, which means we usually generate about 68 to 75 cents a car. So I feel like, especially opening weekend, weather was pretty good. And it's all weather dependent like everything else, but so far it seems to be going really great. Saturday was the first time we had weather issues and had to close the rink. But other than that, we have rented out almost every single Saturday because we allow the private rentals, and those are going really well. Overall, so far so good. So, no
Express trip?
Yes, so the Trolley Express will start this Friday evening, and I hear people are scalping those tickets, so I guess that's a good thing, yeah. So we're definitely going to continue that next year. So yeah, that's going to start this Friday. We have 4 trips going this Friday, and then the next 2 Fridays we only have 3 trips because the traffic's going to get a lot more heavy. But had someone call today, how can I get a party bus to go through there? Is it going to work? Here's the dimensions of the vehicle. You just never know what you're going to get. I had someone today also say, well, I would rather go through that instead of Little Mega Caverns. So I took that as a great, great compliment to our community. So yeah, it's going really good.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yes, it is.
Thank you. Hey, I'm going to appoint Becky Thomas to the State Theater Board of Directors for a term to expire on June 30th, 2021. I would like to appoint Cora Wood to the Civil Service Commission for a term to expire on March 2nd, 2021. I need your approval.
Motion. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. I'd like to reappoint Kelly Miller Lewis to the Elizabethtown Board of Zoning Adjustments for a term to expire December 31st, 2022. And I need your approval.
So moved. So,
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Okay, I have the first reading of ordinance number 34, 2018, annexation of 215 Deerbrook Lane, in parentheses, Jackie Street. Motion to read the ordinance.
motion.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Whereas the property owned by Ryan and Lauren Smolinski located at 215 Deerbrook Lane, aka Jackie Street, is adjacent or contiguous to the city of Elizabethtown's boundaries. Whereas by reason of population density, commercial, industrial, institutional, or governmental use of land and/or subdivision of land, this property is suitable for development for urban purposes without reasonable delay. Now therefore be it ordained by the city of Elizabethtown, Kentucky, that from and after the passage, approval, and publication of this ordinance, the property located at 215 Deerbrook Lane, Jackie Street, to be known as 215 Jackie Street, upon annexation and being more particularly described in the attached Exhibit A, the legal description, and Exhibit B, the map, is annexed into the city of Elizabethtown. Said property shall be zoned as suburban residential general R2 pursuant to the recommendation of the city of Elizabethtown Planning Commission based on a public hearing conducted on November the 13th, 2018. The findings of fact of the commission in support of this recommendation are adopted as if set out verbatim. This action is taken for property owned by Ryan and Lauren Smolinski and pursuant to their request and consent, which is Exhibit C. Be it further ordained that the mayor of the city and or her designate be and she is hereby authorized and directed to take all steps necessary to perfect this ordinance, read the first time this, the 3rd day of December, 2018.
Thank you, Dee Dee. And first reading of ordinance number 35, 2018, amending the official zoning map for property located at 111 Haycraft Street.
Motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Whereas the Elizabethtown Planning Commission held a public hearing on November the 27th, 2018, initiated by Addington Properties LLC for property located at 111 Haycraft Street, Elizabethtown, Kentucky. Whereas the Elizabethtown Planning Commission, based on the testimony at the public hearing, determined that the request to amend the official zoning map for the property located at 111 Haycraft Street to the proposed zoning district classification of downtown mixed use, C5, would be appropriate for the property as the Planning Commission found the request to be in agreement with the city's comprehensive plan. Now, in conformance with Harris 100, the Planning Commission has transmitted to the City Council findings of fact and a recommendation for approval of said request to amend the official zoning map, including a summary of evidence and testimony from said hearing. Be it ordained by the City of Elizabethtown, Kentucky, that from and after the passage, approval, and publication of this ordinance, that the official zoning map is amended for property located at 111 Haycraft Street from urban residential general R4 to downtown mixed use C5. This action is taken pursuant to a request by Addington Properties LLC for property located at 111 Haycraft Street and pursuant to the recommendation of the Elizabethtown Planning Commission. The city council also finds that the request is in agreement with the city's comprehensive plan and that the proposed zoning classification is appropriate. The findings of fact of the planning commission in support of this zoning map amendment are adopted as if set out verbatim. The legal description of said property is more particularly described in Exhibit A. Be it further ordained that the mayor of the city and or her designee, she is hereby authorized and directed to take all steps necessary to perfect this ordinance. Read the first time, this is the 3rd day of December, 2018. Thank you, Dee Dee. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, we have a second reading of ordinance 32, 2018, permitting temporary motor vehicle sales and displays as allowed pursuant to KRS 190.030. Motion to read the ordinance, please.
Motion?
Second.
All those in favor?
Yes, ma'am, and it being a second reading in summary, this is pursuant to KRS 190.030, that this ordinance will allow the off-site temporary motor vehicle sales and displays within the corporate limits of the city of Elizabethtown, so long as the motor vehicle dealer holds a proper business license and all other requirements of the city, including building code, electrical code, and planning and zoning requirements are met. This was read the first time on November the 19th, 2018.
Thank you, Dee Dee. Motion to adopt the ordinance.
So moved.
Second.
This is a roll call vote, starting with Councilmember Bill Bennett.
Yes.
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 Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. Second reading of ordinance number 33, number 2018, establishing 35-mile-per-hour speed limit on Pritchard Parkway. Motion to read the ordinance.
Motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Yes, ma'am, this ordinance number 33, 2018 shall establish a 35-mile-per-hour speed limit on Pritchard Parkway. It was read the first time on November the 19th, 2018.
Motion to adopt the ordinance.
So moved.
Second?
Okay, this is roll call vote, starting with Tony Bishop.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, municipal order number 99, 2018, accepting the bid from Jean Gray Electric for Freeman Lake Park tennis court lights in the amount of $137,900. Motion to read the motion, please.
Motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
At a regular meeting of the City Council of Elizabethtown, Kentucky, held on the date set out below, a motion to read and adopt the following municipal order was duly made, seconded, and approved. Whereas the City of Elizabethtown prepared construction documents and received public bids on November the 20th, 2018 for the Freeman Lake Park Tennis Courts Lighting Project. Now be it ordered that the City of Elizabethtown accepts the bid from Jean Gray Electric for the Freeman Lake Park Tennis Courts Lighting Project in the amount of $137,900. Be it further ordered that the mayor of the city and or her designee, she is hereby authorized and directed to take all steps necessary to perfect this order, including but not limited to signing all contracts, obtaining the necessary permits, and approving change orders up to the designated amount of $13,790. Read, adopted, and approved. This is the 3rd day of December, 2018.
Motion to adopt the order, please.
Motion?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Municipal Order 100, 2018, authorizing the easement agreement for property at 225 and 227 Helm Street. Motion to read the order, please.
Motion. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Whereas the City of Elizabethtown desires to conserve and maintain areas for stormwater drainage that benefit the community, and whereas L&T Funeral Services LLC owns property at 225 and 227 Helm Street and has agreed to provide a drainage easement at their property to the City of Elizabethtown for the Henry Street Stormwater Improvement Project Phase 1. Now be it ordered by the Elizabethtown City Council that the City of Elizabethtown procure temporary construction easements and permanent utility and drainage easements for the property at 225 and 227 Helm Street for the proper provision of stormwater control from L&T Funeral Services LLC in the amount of $25,275. Be it further ordered that the mayor of the city and or her designee, she is hereby authorized and directed to take all steps necessary to perfect this order, including but not limited to the execution of any agreements, easements, and other documents and forms. Read, adopted, and approved. This is the 3rd day of December, 2018.
Thank you, Dee Dee. Motion to adopt the order.
Motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
None opposed? Thank you.
Under informational items, we have Councilmember Ron Thomas.
Mayor,
Yes.
I know you're reluctant to call on me.
Could help.
If you will recall, at the mayor's retirement celebration on Friday of this week, which he referred to as a living funeral, we graciously honored her by saying that we were going to name the new office building at Freeman Lake, the Edna B. Berger office building. One minor problem, we had not approved that at that time. So Mayor, if you're very kind to me at this point, I am proud to make a motion that we read a resolution authorizing the naming of the Edna B. Berger Freeman Lake Park office building today.
I second that motion.
I second the motion as well.
I'll second the motion.
We have a motion in 4 seconds. We have a motion in 5 seconds. You want me to call for the vote?
Sure.
All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Didi, if you will read the resolution.
Yes, sir. Whereas Mayor Edna B. Berger has served the city of Elizabethtown selflessly for 5.5 years as mayor and previously as a council member for 10.5 years. And whereas the city of Elizabethtown has progressed and flourished under her leadership. And whereas the city of Elizabethtown would like to recognize the noble leadership and contributions made to this city by Mayor Berger, now therefore be it resolved that the Freeman Lake Park office shall hereafter be named the Edna B. Berger Freeman Lake Park office. Be it further resolved that this resolution shall be executed by the members of the city of Elizabethtown Council, executed this 3rd day of December 2018.
Ron would be affectionately known as the Burger Barn.
Burger Barn. Less letters.
Could be another source of income. You all are very humbling. I didn't expect it. I was overwhelmed Friday. Thank you very much.
We could have almost done a tie vote to see how you would have voted. Yeah. No, you never broke a tie.
Never broke a tie.
We could have done it on this one.
Wow. That would there would be no Burger Barn.
She said to me, she said, "Do you know what that's about?" And I first said no, and then I said, "Well, I think we have to take official action on the barn." She said, "Well, that's embarrassing. What if you all vote no?" To which I replied, "I'm going to miss her."
Yeah, right.
She had been a fun lady since.
I was hoping Ron Thomas had a lot of confessions to make.
Concessions or confessions?
Yeah, both. Yeah, whatever. Thank you all very much.
You want to take it over just to the side so you'll feel good leaving here today?
We're not through yet, you know, we have 2 more meetings. You all agree with me, yeah. I need a motion to close the meeting pursuant to KRS 61.810. 2, conduct deliberation on future acquisition or sale of real property by the city.
Motion, second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.